busy Monday over here. So
You gotta hit record.
It's recording.
Are you sure? I don't see anything. I don't see the thing that says live. It's the first time ever in 800 and something episodes I don't see a thing that says live. For real?
I'm
Is
not
it really
lying.
recording?
Well, we have 19 minutes. Do you think I'm going to use 2 or 3 of them to prove to you that we are in fact recording?
I mean, I got things to see and people to do. Look at you thinking. Look at you thinking. Look at you thinking. Look at you thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking about.
Yeah, man. All right, as long as you're 100% sure, because literally, I'm telling you, first time ever, I'm looking at the screen and I don't see the red thing. I don't see a countdown. I don't see how many minutes there are. It's weird to me. We've done this for 2.5 years, and I've always seen that.
Is that like your teleprompter? If you don't have that, you're all thrown off.
Well, I know how long at least I am. How long we're going.
Well,
and,
I'll give you a time update every minute on the minute. So 1 minute in. So Luca Nation, I have something interesting for you guys. Today will be a condensed episode, but we'll roll these topics into tomorrow. So just some topics that came up in no particular order that I wanted to talk about coming into Monday. You guys love the Monday brain dump episodes. So I was going to do an NFL weekend recap, how you did with your picks, props, plays. I'd love to hear that. And who are some players who you think are buys and sells? Mm-hmm. There's this big right now kind of line in the sand with content in terms of cards. It's either it's positive or negative. So I thought we could talk about that. I'm fascinated, and I haven't been able to figure this out. I'm kind of like Da Vinci Code. Influencers who pick up cards at shows, then they post them they do an IG post or picked up a grail at show XYZ, and then on their story you see a price, and then on their story 14 minutes later it's sold. And I'm like, what's happening here? I've done story sales. I know they don't go that fast. How are these people selling it so quick? So I've that end. I wanted to do something for the mind where it's there's these 6 human needs and kind of what people are struggling with today, and go through some stuff that might help people. So those are topics, and obviously USA tying 1-1.
That's what I wanted to hear about, because I don't know soccer. So I watched the game. I watched most of it. I watched some with Ian. I watched the first half. I watched some of the Senegal-Netherlands games. A little scare for the Netherlands, but Senegal's a good team. I watched some of the England game, and obviously that was a mismatch from the beginning. My takeaways, and then I want to hear what you say, because I'm a novice. I will give you my 30-second spiel brain dump on it. One, I'm wondering whether or not it's menstrual or the cramps are because they're playing in Qatar. Because it's soccer, so I don't know why there are so many cramps. The difficult part for me is most sports have rules that you can look up, rules that you can follow. Football, I guess, basketball, there's some leniency in the rules and how they're how applied by refs, whether it's pass interference, whether it's not, whether it's traveling, whether it's not. Especially if it's Giannis, it's usually not, even though it is. It seems like in soccer, the refs have a lot more leniency on so many different kinds of calls and how they're going to call the game, and yellow card, not yellow card, and the whole deal.
Especially the ticky-tacky fouls and the yellow cards. I'll answer your first question.
My day one takeaway. Go ahead.
Believe it or not, it's when in Russian the word's sigrany. It means you've played together. It means you understand each other. Right? There's one word in Russian, but I don't know the word in English. It's maybe the word that we'll use is chemistry. Oftentimes when you have chemistry, you don't overwork. So in soccer, you can overrun the game. It was a big thing, especially for the first game, your adrenaline's pumping, you're excited. You want to come out and do stuff, but soccer's not that kind of sport where if you run yourself out of the game in the first 10, 20 minutes, it's a 90-minute game. It's a very long game. And I think the cramps are part of that. It's new teams forming together, first game of the World Cup, adrenaline, plus you're overrunning the game. So that's the answer to the first one.
Not the heat.
The announcer said it wasn't that high.
All right. I didn't. I figured I'd ask. I thought that because I know that was one of the concerns as to why they moved it. They changed the season when they were playing.
In the summer, it's the desert.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, and then I guess my next question for you on the soccer is the U.S., right? Are they supposed to win any of these games? Like Vegas odds, were they favored to win today? Because you would think that was a game they should have won against Wales. Wales hasn't been in the World Cup in 50 years. I know they have good players. I know Gareth Bale, who obviously showed up in a big way for the team, but they were up 1-0 with many,
the goals to advance, not to win the game. It's actually soccer. World Cup's really interesting, man. It really is a weird thing because 84% of the time, if you win the first game, you go through. Right. And there's 3 games. This isn't like the NFL season where you could lose week 1 and week 2, and you have 14 games to make up.
Well, how many go through the pool? How many go through this round?
2.
So now them advancing is going to. They didn't lose any ground to Wales today, right? The difference is going to come down to Wales will likely also beat Iran, just as the U.S. likely will beat Iran.
I think so.
And they'll both probably lose to England. So it'll come down
not necessarily.
to. No, you think they could?
We think of it in American terms, but Americans, we don't have the advance thing, right? So the goal is to advance and not to win the games. My thoughts on the game is such: it's the U.S. a really young team, and I would use this World Cup as a way to gain experience and a way to gain identity, right? Mm-hmm. For me, the positive, this is the most skilled U.S. team I've seen in a long time. So if we're actually thinking about World Cup and U.S. soccer, not by World Cup, by like a bigger time frame, 16 years, 20 years, really to be a legitimate contender, it starts with fundamentals, and you have to be able to pass the ball and you have to be able to trap the ball. And this is the most skilled team I've ever seen. So with that in mind, they were selected for a reason, but they're also equally young. What I loved that I think is a testament to the coach, the manager, it's no one played outside of themselves. I feel like everybody knew their role. And Pulisic is the playmaker. You have Adams, I believe his name is the center mid, who controls the game for them in the center. And everybody played their role, but they still lack talent and they still lack experience. So you say, is this a game they should have won? A more experienced U.S. team in 2026 probably would have won this game. But you're going up against an experienced Wales team, Ramsey, Bale, all good players. They're playing at high level versus a very young USA team. USA team's more skilled. Wales teams were a little more experienced, and you kind of see it.
So I'll phrase it a seperate way. If I looked at the odds before the game, which team would have been the Vegas favorite? It was a pick. Okay, all right. The U.S. team
for American -3 spread. The U.S. team was a -3 spread.
Okay, for football. So, they were like a -130 on the money line, -140, something like that. So they were slight favorites. It's not a crazy thing that they did. It would have done wonders for them to advance had they won this one, right? Because they win, England wins, and, Wales, that's – anyway, I understand it comes down to goal differential. Pulisic had a nice pass, didn't score. He had the assist. Weah had the goal, and that's a Brooklyn kid, so I'll give it up for him. Hey, Brooklyn, where Brooklyn at? So, assuming they just perform like you expect them to perform, and that is, they'll gain good experience. They probably
5:35 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, excellent! Thank you. That is why I look at the clock, by the way, especially when we're doing an episode where I need that.
We're dancing. This is Dirty Dancing,
But so the deal on this is, I will need that back for future episodes. I need that back for future episodes. I'm just letting you know now.
I don't run StreamYard.
All right, well, I'm going to have to I might not be doing a podcast ever again if I can't see a clock. There's got to be a clock.
I knew something would unravel this relationship. There's many things on the list.
That's it. I need a clock.
It could be.
It's like sports. Philosophy. Imagine watching a basketball game or a football game without a clock. You just can't. There's no way. You can't do it. So Pulisic with an assist and a lot of up and down, a lot of, I'm going to call them opportunities that, they controlled the ball, 70, 75 minutes of the 90 plus penalty time, extra time was played in the Wales half of the field. Wales was always on defense, basically protecting the U.S., even though they didn't really score. I think the first, 85 minutes had one shot on goal and it was the one they scored. They had a couple late ones as they were pressing.
So that's one of the holes that they need to fix for 2026, in my opinion. It's, U.S. was just like play it long, go chase it down, pick up the scraps, and score goals in the 90s and the early 2000s. Now they're playing real soccer, and they're playing in the offensive third. Now there's this other level of, can you play with intention and direction in the final third? Can you keep possession while also playing through the gaps and finding. And I think in a lot of parts, you need a striker. That's what makes Haaland so special. He on a bad team, he might not be seen, but on a good team, all those little pieces, those little dump-ins into the box, he makes he makes something of nothing oftentimes.
You know what? He didn't, obviously, he's young and, he'll have other World Cups in front of him and he's not the star on the team. But you know who looked like he was playing at a different speed out there for the English team? Rashford. And I know he came in.
That guy.
I mean, what'd you say?
In the first game?
Yeah.
Like versus Iran?
The England game. Yeah, against Iran. I mean, it made it look like he was tiring the other team out. He didn't come in. I think he had a goal. He definitely scored one. I think it was like that fourth goal or whatever it was. But he just seemed to. I know, but he always seemed to be like running faster than his own teammates. And that was why I bring that up, is the U.S. seemed to be missing somebody who was continuing to put pressure and strike and shoot and put pressure on the defense, because then that's when opportunities happen, which is why Gareth Bale, right, who was their guy, he was in the box and he was making something happen, and you get a penalty kick out of it. The U.S. doesn't have that. If you constant attack, a penalty kick happens. I will say this as an American, this should have like an asterisk. I know it's moving forward, but it should still be a U.S. win. This should be like the U.S. had one real goal against Wales, had a fakey goal, a penalty kick goal. Like that's fakey.
I agree with you. We should run into the box with the ball more, is what you're saying.
Yes, pretty much.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
So the onside question for the folks here for the Card Podcast is Pulisic had the assist. It was a very nice pass. He obviously looks like he is a player, like a legit player. He's the star out there. Pulisic, but if the U.S. does what you think they're going to do, which is just survive, maybe advance out of this pool, and then next round, and he just has ho-hum type of games where they're not scoring like crazy, their offense sort of looks like the Jets, what happens to his cards? Are people expecting more?
No, and that's why you haven't seen a run on his cards. I think that's why we haven't seen a run on anyone's cards, because we don't know this team. It's a bunch of babies. They're all rookies, man. They're all rookies with a little bit, Pulisic is the veteran, because I think there's one guy who's like 30 years old on the entire team. 28. The center back. So like it's they're all rookies. I think the time to buy these guys is going to be in the lull after the World Cup, and like if you're really trying to find the best price.
That's it. That's where I was going. Well done. I think if they get eliminated, I like what
they're building, man. I like what they're building. It takes time. Like it takes time to build a true winning culture. And Klinsmann, though he might not get the love, he established the academy system, which is where you really teach these guys how to pass and have a good touch and have good fundamentals. You can't teach someone at 18 that. You got to teach them at 12, 13, 14, that age. That's when you get them at that age. And you see Aronson, he was at the YC Academy. That's in the Philadelphia area. So what they do now is they train from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the age of 14. They go to school for 4 hours, and then they train in the afternoon. School for 4 hours. Compare that to what happened with us. We would go to school for 8 hours, and then we would train in the afternoon. What kind of experience is that? Not going to work. We're tired. We've been sitting all day. It takes like an hour to – so just changing the whole culture, I love what I'm seeing. They're just young.
So, I mean –
I wouldn't worry about the results, man.
Soccer
I would not worry about the results. I would worry about how well they play together.
Soccer could be the collector's haven then. Like, people who are buying soccer are people who love the sport. And if you're buying a Pulisic card – after the World Cup, anybody who was hoping that they'd win the World Cup, and is jumping his cards, he could perform over the next couple of years with his team and maybe win some stuff with his club teams and you name it. And then we're back in 4 years. Like that is a real hold. That's not a flip put on your story sale.
I would look at Aronson, man. That kid is good. That kid is really good. He's shifty. What I think we're lacking, and I think maybe we have him, is a Landon Donovan-esque, like a center defensive mid that could attack, and a striker. Like you remember Brian McBride? I don't think Dempsey was like this, but Brian McBride was a 2002 like true striker. He would sit on the center back and he'd win headers. If you have Aronson, Pulisic as the wing playmakers, you have a really strong defensive mid, and then you find a striker. In 4 years, this is going to be an interesting team. This is a quarterfinal, semifinal team in 4 years. I like where they're going. I really do.
There we go.
And I always judge a coach by if the players know to play within themselves. Why do we get mad at Poole, or why do we get mad at Clay? We're like, he's just chucking, right? He's not playing within the system. what I loved about this coach is everybody today, in my opinion, played within the system. I didn't love putting in Yedlin. He sucks. He's has brick feet. But everyone else I thought was top notch. I think
they're probably giving somebody a blow, maybe, trying to rest somebody. People have cramps and stuff like that. You just think he blows, period. But it's a long game. It's their first game. You don't want them to get completely tired. They know at that point in time that they're just trying to get through this round, because it doesn't matter once you get through, the slate is wiped clean again for you until you get to the elimination knockouts. So you see people getting hurt. I was thinking it when in the England game, like, why is some of these guys still in here? Why is Grealish still in? Why are these guys still in the game when they're up so much? Because it's goal difference.
You have 5 subs. Like, you can't just sub the whole team. You only have 5 substitutions.
Yeah, but when the game is out of hand,
you understand they have 3 games, like 3 games in qualifiers.
Yeah,
and if you lose the first game, it's 84% out. Like, you don't have a chance.
I get you. I get you.
So, Luca Nation. Anyway, shorter episode. This is going to be a fun 2-3 weeks. Just to give you guys an update, we don't really know what happened with the PWCC Weekly ourselves.
We'll find out.
We'll
get some details.
We'll get we could get the details, but as of right now, I don't know what happened either. I was bidding on cards. I was high bidder, then I wasn't high bidder. I have no idea what happened. So we're in the same boat with you. We have we'll do a longer episode for you guys. Something to keep in mind. I love the troll comments. They make the negative stuff makes my life. I enjoy them. They're fun for me. But I'll tell you guys, in this next stage of Luca Nation Network, our team doesn't like it. So some of you guys will start getting the block, because it's not just Andrew anymore. We're a team. We have other shows. We have other people doing content for us.
I don't look at comments, so you guys keep commenting away. I don't even see it.
Keep commenting away, but just know, like, it cuts both ways. I'll put it that way. If you're gonna razz, also make sure that when there's some good stuff that you guys really like or benefit from, make sure that you put the same energy into that.
I like that. We'll chime into that on the positive, negative hobby spin. And now it's not just the people putting out the content, there's people commenting on the content. Nice little spin there for a future episode.
Right?
Hey, now. I like it.
All right. That's a short episode, guys. We got to bounce. Long day. We love you. Hope you enjoyed the analysis. Your hair looks amazing.
I loved it.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com, or my cell phone number 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.